My name is Lucia Ortiz, and I'm the quality manager of Finca Las Mercedes. The farm is my husband's family farm, so I am the one working with it since 2006 that we won Cup of Excellence first place. So I got my degree in marketing and public relationships. I speak English, French, and Spanish, and that's why the family agreed to put me in charge on what it was about sales on the farm. When I started in 2006, I only knew I drink coffee with cinnamon and sugar and milk. So that was like a big shock when you start working in coffee to see where it comes from, how it works, everything you have to learn about cupping, roasting, the agricultural stuff you need to know. So actually from 2006 up to date, I took all the classes I could find here in El Salvador at SCAA. Every time we went to the symposiums or everything, I take classes to certify myself. So I got certified in as a cupper, as a roaster. And then I also took classes here in El Salvador about the agricultural management of a coffee farm. And you keep on learning every year about coffee. You learn everything. So that's more my background on what I know about coffee. So I'm the mother. Well, I'm the wife of the 4th generation and the mother of the 5th. So I'm the neck that's moving the heads. The farm is actually was first made by an Spanish immigrant, Adrian Ortiz, who married a Salvadorian called Mercedes Rivera. So they found the farm in 1886. So we have 133 years of producing coffee. And they named the farm after great grandma Mercedes. So that's why Las Mercedes. So we've been working in the farm since then. When our great grandfather passed away, our great grandmother was the one in charge of the farm. She actually made the farm what it is. So this farm was actually born and been grown by a woman. So she was a widow being pregnant from our grandfather. So after our grandfather graduated from high school and from college, he came back because he was studying, I think, in San Francisco. So he came back and he managed the farm. He lives at the farm. He lived at the farm. And when he passed away, my father-in-law was the one in charge of the farm. In 1997, when Andres, my son, was born, he decided that Las Mercedes used to be his brother, our uncle, and my father-in-law were the owners of Las Mercedes. So he bought the shares of our uncle. So all Las Mercedes now belong to Ortiz Barriere, which is the name of the company that owns, and it's composed by my husband, my sister-in-law Sylvia, and my brother-in-law Rodrigo. So, and they are the 4th generation. And then my kids are the 5th. So that's how Las Mercedes is born. And in 2006, 2001, we built the mill, the wet mill. We got a big earthquake in 2001 and everything got destroyed. Everything that we have done, patios, the building that we were doing. So we reconstruct everything. And that also was the year that my father-in-law decided to get the Rainforest Alliance certification. That helped us a lot to put everything in order, for having controls, for traceability especially. And in 2006, we won Cup of Excellence, first place. Actually, we got 94.5 points on that coffee, and it's the highest score El Salvador had ever gotten. Nobody has gotten that score yet. So, and with a washed coffee. So that was Babylon 1. In 2007, well, I was in 2006, but in 2007, I started reaching out for clients. And the first ones to respond were Mike and Jeff. So that was the year they came in. Mike and Jeff came in 2007. And that was the first year that Clutch starts buying El Pepinal. That was the first lot they bought from us. And our friendship kept on growing through the years, and the business kept on growing through the years. Okay, for example, during harvest season, well, they report me by, we use here WhatsApp. So we have a group chat between the engineer, the mandador, the mill in charge guy, Sylvia, my son, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my husband and me. So they actually always tell us what are the work they're doing, how many people came to work. Because now with COVID, we have to actually see if there was something wrong, if we're missing too much people, is because they were sick. Are they, and we bring people from different towns, so we have to actually have control on that. So that's the first thing. At 6 a.m. they report me what they're doing, how many people got in, and then at the end of the day, they send how much we picked and pictures. That's Monday and Tuesday. Wednesdays and Thursday, I'm at the farm. I sleep over there. The farm is, for you to understand, it's a 3-hour ride from my house to the farm. So actually, that's why we only go twice a week. And I got the engineer that goes there Tuesdays and Fridays. So there's always a thinking head in supervising everything we're doing. Then the rest of the week is like cupping the coffees, getting information for the clients, meetings here, because I'm also the vice president of the denomination of origin, the Capachinameca. I'm part of Women's in Coffee. So the day-to-day is that way. That's during harvest season. And during the agriculture season, we go there once a week to check on jobs that's done, because it's mostly cleaning, pruning, fertilizing. So you check that everything is going on, that the product is being used correctly. If there's any machine that it has to be bring back to San Salvador to get fixed, we bring them. So that's mostly and that after harvest you start like sending samples, making business, doing contracts, and then comes the exportation. I go into the mill, seeing everything it's okay, putting the coffee in the containers, and there goes the year. I'm praying that it rains. That's one of the things we always do, pray for rain. Since April up to September, we're praying for rain. Well, first of all, I remember when I got in 2006, we live in Central America and probably know the machismo here, it's really tough. And for them, that a woman that becomes the head of the farm and starts screaming out orders and everything, at the beginning, the caporales and the mandador didn't like it that much. So they start looking at me, what is this woman doing? Why is she the one that's telling me what to do, or things like that? And it was tough because sometimes they didn't do this thing until my father-in-law told them that what I said, that my word was the law. I had to have the green light from a man for them to actually start working with me. And then I used to work with a mill, and that was also a problem because the head of the mill, I told him what he need to do on what the contracts were. And every time I talked with him, he phoned my father-in-law and asked him if that was true, and he was able to do the work. So those are at the beginning, the obstacles I had. I finally talked with my father-in-law and told him, okay, we're not gonna work this way. You have to give me freedom of speech of everything. because I can't wait for you to have time, because by that time he still was working at the bank as a vice president of the biggest bank of El Salvador. And there are decisions I need to take at the moment in the area. And also I need some respect with the people I'm working. So he told me, do whatever you need. It's your job. And I start looking out for the new mill. So that's how I start working with the mill. I've been working for the past 10 years. And it work that people didn't mind. We work as equals. And I think that also the workers had learned. I have a strong character like Heather. We're a little bit, but they finally understood that what I said, and I explained them, is that I knew what I was talking about. I had to prove that I knew what I was talking about. Probably is my husband or my son come in and they say it and they will believe him. But as a woman, you have to prove what you know, especially in the agricultural area that it's more like a man's area here in Central America. So yeah, those are the biggest, but those obstacles are something that I knew from the beginning. And since I have a strong character, those were things I didn't mind at all. I knew I was going to take them out and keep on what I was thinking about, coffee and what I'm doing. Since I'm part of Women in Coffee since 2006, actually, I was one of the founders of the chapter here in El Salvador, and I'm the former president. For me, it was important to empower the women I have at the farm. So now I say I have empowered them too much, but they talk, they work, and also the people, the men at the farm know they have to respect them, and that they have a big impact on them. That so it is very difficult because sometimes I have like pickers. I have the wife and the husband. And sometimes I wanted to do like, for example, only women are going to pick this area. And men are going to go the other way because probably this coffee is for a client that wants women pick coffee, for example. Some of them said, no, I have to go with my husband because my husband gets jealous if I don't work with him, or for example, I can't have women at the dry mill or at the wet mill, because the husbands get jealous that they're working with other men, or if they get out too late, that's a problem that a woman comes late, because here it doesn't matter if both of them are doing the same job. When the women get back home, they're the one in charge of the food, of the laundry, of the kids, of everything. So I always tease the men, like, because when we actually screen the cherries before putting in the dish, it's like, okay, now you know how to clean beans and rice, so you can help at home. So, but those are the things that for them it was at the beginning they were frightened to talk to me, but those things are opening, and the women's now they actually come in and say, okay, today if there was something, this happened and we didn't like it, so they are open to do it. I could say that a lot of Women's in Coffee is like an organization, and we have several organizations here in El Salvador, but we have to earn our respect at what we were doing as Women's in Coffee, because at the beginning, as I told you, this is a man's world. They say, a Women's in Coffee, that's an association to sit down, drink coffee, and eat cookies. And we demonstrate them that we were doing works, that our main goal was education, and we have a big respect now about from all our colleagues that when Women's in Coffee do something, you have to go because of good stuff what they're bringing in. It's like when Heather came, Mike came, we also have different talks. People from and incredible, a lot of women are the ones that are giving out these educational programs. So it's a barrier that we are breaking, but still, for example, I'm in the board of the president and vice president, and the only vice president woman, it's me, in the 6 denominations of origin. So at that meeting, I'm the only woman. It's a barrier that we are breaking, but still, for example, I'm in the board of the president and vice president, and the only vice president woman, it's me, in the 6 denominations of origin. So at that meeting, I'm the only woman. So yeah, that's how it's.
And how is that? How does that go? Like when you guys start in the meeting, you being the only woman, like how is that? How do you feel when you're there, sir?
No, it doesn't, because we're all friends. So they know me, and as I told you, I'm a little bit chatty, and I have a strong character, so I always talk. Most of the time I'm the one that pitching ideas, talking about it, thinking of things, trying to moderate sometimes when men get a little bit angry or something. But yeah, they respect what I said. I have earned the respect I have as a woman in coffee, so they know. I come from empowered woman. My great grandmother, from my mom's side, was the first woman that brought the buses for public transportation here to the town called Zacatecoluca. So she was one of the first women that divorced here in El Salvador. So yeah, she was a strong character woman, and she's always working. My grandmother also, and my mom. So I come from that line of strong women, and I think that my family is the one that always encouraged me and gave me the example. And of course my dad, that always what is ethical and values and studying and everything. So I think my family is what makes me what I am now. Well, especially in coffee, it is, don't get stressed about what's going, things that you can change, like when it doesn't rain or if it rains too much, or so learn to manage the things you have and make them productive. So yeah, because you can't tell Mother Nature what to do. First of all, don't be afraid. I know you get anxious, but we are women and we are organized gender. So we tend to multitask and do a lot of stuff. And when things go great, it's because a woman has been inside that business. So don't be afraid, you can do it.